What if to answer one question, your database first has to answer another question? That's specifically the purpose of subquerying, and they unlock a whole new level of power within SQL. A subquery is a query that's nested inside of another query, and it's wrapped in parentheses. The inner query will run first, and its result will get passed towards the outer query. Subqueries can live inside of a select, from, where, or having clause, and each placement will do something different for subquery. Subqueries and where are the most common use for it. So for example, if we wanted to find all customers who have placed at least one order within our database, we would do select name from customers, where the ID is inside of select customer ID from orders. The inner query returns a list of customer IDs from the orders table, while the outer query will use that list to filter customers. The in operator will check if a value exists inside of that return list. A subquery in select adds a calculated column towards every row, and it's used in combination with from. For example, let's say we select name, and then within a subquery we're going to select the count from orders, where the customer ID from orders is equal to the ID from customers, and we consider that the order count from the customers table, which means that every customer row now shows the total order count, which is computed like that on the fly. A subquery in from will create a temporary table, which is also sometimes called a derived table, that the outer query will treat like a regular one. So for example, we could say select star from, in parentheses, select name total from the orders table, where the total is greater than 100, and we consider that high value orders. Another case is correlated subqueries. Most subqueries will usually run once. However, a correlated subquery can run once per row of the outer query, which means that, for example, we could find customers whose most recent order is above the average. In this case, the query would look like select name from customers renamed to C, and where we create another query that is select max of total from the orders table, where the customer ID equals that of the ID from the customers table, and we check if that maximum from the first subquery is greater than the average total from the orders table. So we have the inner query referencing C.ID, the current row of the outer query. This is powerful, but it's slower on large data sets. So we introduced the idea of CTEs, or common table expressions. Since deep nesting can get unreadable fast, this can present problems within subqueries. So CTEs, or common table expressions, are the purpose of this. So for example, we could do with high value as select from orders, where the total is greater than 100. Essentially, we're naming this as a temporary table. Then we can select all rows from the high value table. This is effectively the same result as a from subquery, but the key caveat is that it's named, reusable, and far easier to read for the developer. So CTEs are the cleaner and more maintainable version of complex subqueries, especially as the problems that we're dealing with and insights we want to derive become more complicated. So to wrap it all up, the different cases where we can use subqueries are where, select from clauses, and we can have correlated subqueries and CTEs. And the overall niche purpose is subqueries allow our database to answer questions within questions, and that enables the true power of SQL.